Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I kind of wanted to talk about The Walking Dead in general and sort of recap the year. I don't think this year I'm going to do a top 10 best episodes or like a top 10 worst episodes, but I'll talk about like my favorite moments and stuff like that that have happened throughout the year. Like I'll talk about, just my favorite moments from all the shows, my favorite episodes, some moments that I didn't think were that great. Yeah, just sort of give my thoughts on The Walking Dead as a whole in 2023, now that we are finishing off this year here. And I do also want to say, first of all, thank you guys all for the kind comments and all that. I'm still trying to figure out like how to manage all of the camera stuff and how to like figure all this stuff out. Looking at it right now, it's not so bad, but obviously the background I kind of have to fix quite a bit. I saw you guys mentioning a lot of things with eye level cameras. I'll have to figure out how to do that because right now I could just kind of have it on my monitor, like with the lighting and all that up there. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to get that just sort of eye level, if it's going to be more to the side then, I guess, because I don't know, unless I recorded it in front of my monitor, but I kind of look at my monitor for stuff. So I'll have to figure all that out. I don't think I'm going to go with green screens. I think the green screen in the back would be a little off. Yeah, I just don't think it would work too well because my hair is very frizzy like at the moment. And some videos it's just going to be like that. I literally just got out of bed like 30 minutes ago. So, and that's the kind of stuff that I was thinking about doing. And so I know I'm not going to be getting into this right away, although it's kind of still in the theme of this video, but that is the one thing that I really want to focus on a lot this year, I guess, for 2024 is content more like this, where I don't want to say that I want to do like morning shows, but like maybe I could do something like that where it's like a morning live stream or a morning video here and there where I'm just kind of having coffee and stuff. And maybe I can kind of set it up so it really looks just like that, like where it looks really good. You know, the quality I'm having right now is just a generic like webcam. My brother has like a bunch of 4K webcams. He has a bunch of stuff. He has tons of them. So I know he did say I can use one for my videos and all that, just whenever we're doing the podcast or whatever, just bring it back down kind of thing. So I can definitely set up a lot of that stuff there. In terms of an update on how things are going, I'll update you guys like I'll update it here, but I'll kind of say like every week or so I'll update you guys on just sort of what's been going on, how I've been feeling, this and that. And I'll say as of now, things overall, it seems like it's fine, though it seems like there's still the issue there, but I haven't seen anything on my end. Everything looks completely fine. And again, I'm still pretty stressed out about it. I can kind of forget about it here and there, but it's still just like stressful because I'm not doing anything wrong. Like there's not a single thing I'm doing. I'm doing what I've been doing for years and years and years, right? So it's like it's out of my control at this point. So I'm just it's so stressful. But that's why I'm gonna start branching out a lot. I'm gonna branch out on Twitch and I'm gonna do a lot of stuff like that. Obviously I'm doing YouTube memberships and all of that as well. So that there's some of that, and in my personal life I've decided, and I guess I can kind of talk about that in here, but I've decided that I'm going to be going to actually we'll talk about this at the end of the video. Let's actually get into what I want to talk about with The Walking Dead here. So first of all, again, thank you so much for all the support. I don't want to bore you guys talking about all this stuff in the beginning, so we'll save it for the end. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about just sort of what I've been doing in my personal life and how things are going to be going. And I have some pretty big plans this year. Things should actually go very, very well. If things could go according to plan over the next like 9 months, then things should go very, very well for me and my family. And I'm just praying. Honestly, I'm just praying at this point. So first of all, I should say thank you so much for all the support. If you do want to join and become a member of the channel, the link is just down below. Actually, I think there's just like a join button down below, so you can join. I will be posting that video pretty much. I think I should record it today or maybe tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to post. I'll probably post it like in the new year, I'm guessing. I'm just kind of waiting to see all the people that sort of join and all that. This way I can kind of like read all your guys' names and just thank all of you guys and everything. So yeah, that members only video, and that's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to be doing like a members only video. If there's other things you guys would want to see, I guess I'll ask you guys like just in the memberships thing in general, because I would really like to know. I'd really like to know just what type of content you want. But yeah, again, thank you so much for all the support. And if you are interested in joining, again, I really do appreciate it. It really supports everything I'm doing. Like it does help quite a bit. Like it does actually help quite a bit. And I know people want to help out in other ways as well, like on Patreon and stuff like that. But just as of now, this is what I sort of have going. You can go follow me on Twitch if you want. But yeah, so anyways, The Walking Dead in 2023. So this year is very, very interesting because this year, I personally had quite a bit of stuff happening to me earlier on, and I'm not going to get into a lot of that here. Probably the hardest thing I've ever been through, and it's unfortunate that I'm kind of going through a very similar thing right now. It's a little different, but it is I'm going through a very similar thing right now, and I'm handling it much better for sure, but it is still very, very stressful. And so for The Walking Dead, for me, you know, for a good portion of most of this year, I kind of ignored it, honestly. I was going through so much that nothing really mattered in my life. And I know that late December, early January, around this time last year, they announced that like The Ones Who Live was being pushed off to 2024. There was a bunch of things like that I just completely, I found out later on, and like it was like a couple of days later. There was just so much going on that I couldn't even focus on any of it. I really was just like, I was so gone. And that's what was so interesting. You know, I started to get back into doing videos sort of late March, mostly April. I would say April, May, like around there is where I started to really feel good again. And I was starting to post content at that point. You know, Dead City's trailer, I think, came out. And so that's kind of in my head almost where the year begins, you know, is a lot of that. I don't really know what happened before that. I know that there was not a lot to talk about. So in a way, maybe it worked out for me because I don't know what I would have done videos on, though. I will say that's what I'm kind of interested in terms of doing content, just like on camera like this, is that I can actually talk about a lot of stuff now. I do want to do videos on like The Last of Us and a lot of that, like just a lot of different type of videos now. Like now that I'm on camera, I think it just makes it so much easier, right? So Dead City, you know, that was a really incredible show. A lot of people love that show. I think that there are some people that definitely have some issues with it overall. You know, Fear the Walking Dead was out, and actually, I guess I'm wrong with that, right? I'm pretty sure Fear the Walking Dead aired before Dead City, so I'm probably wrong with that, but I mean, obviously people really, I don't want to say people enjoyed those first 6 episodes of Fear, but they were definitely better than the second half of Fear in some ways anyways. And then Daryl Dixon comes out, and obviously that's exciting. Comic-Con was very exciting. In terms of like this year compared to previous years, it's not like there was a lot of stuff that kind of came out. It definitely felt like more of a quiet year, but more of like the start of something, you know? So that's kind of what this year has been. It's been a very weird year. Like it's so weird for me personally when I really think of The Walking Dead as like it's followed my life. It's so much throughout just my entire life, literally. Like you know, following the show, this and that. And once the show ended late last year, it was sort of the end of that, you know, just some personal stuff that I was going through in my life. And then this year, it's the start of like all these spinoffs. It's like the start of like this new beginning kind of thing. That's kind of what my life has been like this whole year, is like starting over and stuff again, you know, a whole new beginning kind of thing. And so it's been a very interesting year, a lot of like firsts for me kind of thing overall. But I think I'm excited for next year, you know, to be like, just to see all of the new changes and all of that, and some of the things that AMC does with The Walking Dead, you know, like just pushing the story in just a totally different direction. You know, The Ones Who Live, I'm so excited for that show. I think that it's going to feel probably the most like The Walking Dead out of all 3 shows, but I do think it's going to feel so different, something that we haven't really seen before, because Dead City felt like that. It felt like The Walking Dead, but it did feel very, very different. You know, that show did not feel like a classic Walking Dead show. It very much felt like, I mean, there's parts about it, like when they were outside in the woods and all that. And that's some of the stuff that I really, really liked. Like there were some shots of Negan and Maggie, especially in that first episode where you see them outside. And it just looks absolutely incredible. It's just like, this is literally like cinematic quality. Like it just felt so different watching this show. It felt so incredible watching the show. And a lot of the city shots and stuff obviously were still amazing. But it was just, to me, it was seeing the outside stuff, because of stuff that we've been used to. That's where you can really see the difference. Like, oh, this actually looks very, very different. I will say Daryl Dixon, in terms of the outside shots, it didn't look too, I mean, it looked very different, but not in the same way as Dead City, because obviously I think tonally it looks totally different, right? Like Dead City, there's some different visuals there overall. There's a different, you know, theme to the entire show. That's why it just overall feels kind of different. And, you know, Dead City, I think in general, you know, just where it ended off and stuff, I think it was a good start for that show. I think that show set up the whole entire spinoff universe properly, and I think is definitely like, am I like hidden here too much? I feel like I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to like move this a little bit more. I feel like I'm like hidden by the mic here a little bit too much, but yeah, Dead City, just absolutely incredible. You know, Daryl Dixon, you know, obviously I think out of all 3 shows was my favorite show. You know, I think a lot of the differences in that show compared to all the other shows is what really made it like really incredible for me, because I think Dead City, like, obviously I love, you know, the tone and all of that, but it did feel very, very similar. It wasn't in a negative way. It's more of just like what Daryl Dixon was overall. Like just the changes thematically to everything is just what made it more exciting. And it's not even like I'm trying to like say anything bad about Dead City. It's more just like Daryl Dixon just had a totally different tone, and it actually changed quite a bit of what to expect from The Walking Dead overall. I think it drastically changed all of my expectations. Like they can really go in any direction now. We have variant walkers, you know. That was the part to it too that was just like so exciting. Like if Dead City had that and Daryl Dixon didn't, I think people would probably like Dead City more. I think that's like such a big part of Daryl Dixon too. Like it's just the variant walker thing is so exciting. It's something that we've wanted for a very, very long time. Like people have wanted to see just any sort of variant walker, because the thing about The Walking Dead is like in the very, very beginning, it was exciting because walkers were sort of new, and like the idea of a zombie wasn't new, but like we're meeting these characters and we're seeing their reactions to zombies and how they survive, and it was all new. So it was all very, very exciting. And then I think, you know, over time you get sort of very, very used to it, that you sort of have to come up with different type of threats. And I think those threats that they focused on in season 7, 8, and going forward, you know, where you know, I think that just over time, like you're never going to be able to keep that as a thing forever, because you can't go back to making zombies as threats, really, like the same zombies that we had, because they're not, people don't find them that threatening anymore. And then coming up with a different type of villain, you know, it's not going to go that far. Like the Commonwealth, it's like, you know, like the Commonwealth is more, I think, of a story in terms of like what they've went through overall, and just coming back to the real world kind of thing, and just how things like that are sort of working and all of that, right? It's sort of how I view that arc overall. But when I really, like, when you look at The Walking Dead and why people watch, it's zombies mostly, you know, and the Whispers, we'll talk about the Whispers right away, but you know, I think that's why the variant walkers were very, very exciting, because it's actually something that is going to change quite a bit. And it was a very small thing in this season. And that's what I kind of like about it. It was like this season, they've teased a lot of things. They teased a lot of just the stuff going on behind the scenes. And then we got one little scene with that variant walker. There's 2 of them, I think 2 or 3. I think there's 2 of them. And it was just like, we saw how insane it was. Yes, Daryl was able to fight that one variant walker, but it did sort of survive still, kind of. And once there was 2 of them, I guess the issue was that obviously they started to fight each other, right? So that was a big issue, obviously. And Madame Janae was so embarrassed in that scene. So I think that tease right there, just kind of getting into that a little bit there, was like enough for season 1, where you established this world in France and what things are like, but for Daryl, Isabel, and everyone. So I'm excited to see where they go in season 2, because I think that they can really, like, maybe it's a bigger part of the story. You know, I don't know how much of a I guess a part in the story it's going to be. Like, it's obviously, I think, going to still play a role, but Carol being there is going to be a big one, right? So there's going to be some stuff there. I feel like a lot of the big variant walker storyline stuff is going to be in like season 3. I think that's where we're going to see quite a bit of stuff happening, where it's like, you know, like actual crazy variant walker fights and all of that. I think in season 2 we'll probably get some of it. It probably will play a role in the story, but I just think that in season 2 for sure, or season 3 for sure, it's going to be, you know, it's going to play a bigger role, because I think season 2 is going to really focus on, you know, bringing Carol into the story and just sort of, you know, how she affects the story and whatnot. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. And in terms of the Whisperer stuff and all that, again, that's why I think people really liked that. And I think they've seen that over the years, where there's like these little moments of you know, just excitement when it looks like the walkers are changing a little bit, right? Like with the Whispers, it just seemed like, at first, I know that everyone sort of knows, you know, if you're a comic reader especially, you know what the Whispers are, but at first it didn't really seem like that, you know, to some people. And just and the tone overall, it was like, this is new, this is actually really exciting, what is this? And even with the variant walkers, or I guess the cannibals and stuff in season 11, like, it was just small little changes, but it was so exciting, right? And I think those were like honestly the most exciting parts about season 11, which is kind of insane, besides all of the like, oh, is Rick gonna show up, or is Daryl gonna find out this about Rick? Like, that was such a big thing about of that whole season, right? Like, I don't think anyone really cared that much about the Commonwealth arc. It was, I mean, I'm not saying no one did, but personally for me, like, it was one of those things where I was mostly focused on, like, how is this connected to everything that the spinoffs are going to be, you know, like, how is it going to set up all of that? How is Rick going to be involved in some way, because it's the final season? Yeah. And then in terms of the Whisperer stuff like that, you know, like, I still I love that arc. I think the Whisperers in general, Alpha and Beta, really, really incredible characters. I do miss them as characters, but I think that their time on the show was perfect. You know, it would have been cool to see other characters interact with them. But you know, just in terms of characters, actually, you know what? I do have 1 second. I know I get asked a lot, actually, like what I have in terms of Walking Dead merch and all of that. And this is one thing that I do have is like his Half Moon's vinyl. I still have it in here. It is real. There's an actual like vinyl and stuff. Yeah, like I haven't really collected a lot. I'm not like against it. I definitely would. Like you know, if anyone wants to send me stuff to like review and all that, I'm so down with that. But I haven't really, you know, just with my family and all that. Also, I kind of wasn't allowed to get a lot of things sort of in general. So I'm just excited for The Walking Dead. And I talked about that in a previous video that The Walking Dead Dead City is actually going to have some merch and stuff out now. So I will be collecting all of that. Obviously, I can actually review that on the channel now, which is kind of cool. And I'm very excited to see where The Walking Dead is going to go in 2024. I think this year, you know, in terms of just what they sort of gave us, a lot of it was the start of something new, really overall, right? It was the start of, I guess, what could be for the Walking Dead universe, and I'm excited for the ones who live. Yeah, you know, in terms of like episodes that I really liked this year, I would say, you know, from Fear the Walking Dead, let's focus on that. I didn't really like any episode from Fear, and I don't know if I'm being fair with that, obviously, because I think like Morgan's last episode, the final moments were really amazing, super awesome, but it's just I have too many issues with the story, you know, throughout the entire season, that it's like every episode, even seeing Alicia at the end, it was cool, but it was like I still have issues with that episode. So I can't really say that I really liked anything from Fear the Walking Dead other than it was cool to see these little moments here and there. But it was just like, I'm kind of glad that show's done, you know? In terms of like Walking Dead, Dead City, and Daryl Dixon, well, let's focus on Dead City. So Dead City, the episodes I liked were honestly pretty much every episode but episode 4. Episode 4 to me was more of like, I was expecting a lot in terms of that whole arena battle, and there wasn't a lot. And that's where it really felt like things were kind of small scale, and I just kind of, it was just so noticeable right away. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel like a massive battle like they were hyping up kind of thing. And I'm not saying a massive battle with all this stuff happening, but it was just like the battle inside the arena, there was just a little bit of walkers. There's no other people around or anything. It just kind of felt like, okay, this isn't what it kind of seemed like in terms of like a, you know, a battle maybe outside of the arena. I think that would have been, you know, probably a lot better. I think that would have been kind of cool to see. Instead, it felt like it was a very small set kind of thing, and I kind of gave that feeling. So that's why I wasn't a fan of that much. But like episode 3 to me, it's hard for me to say, because episode 5, I loved the reveal of you know, what Maggie was doing. Episode 6 was amazing because of the whole setup for season 2, just ending everything. But episode 3 to me, it's really nothing happens, but it's just, it felt like a classic Walking Dead episode. And I've talked about that quite a bit, but it really felt like a classic Walking Dead episode where it was like, you know, they're going through all these emotions of this and that. And like, it was amazing. Just, you know, the music added on at the end, just that reveal with Luther and Negan, some of the stuff with Maggie. It's just a very phenomenal episode. It was one episode where it was like, let's just focus on these characters. It was a very, again, in terms of storytelling, very classic Walking Dead. And it felt so awesome to see. It felt so nice to see. And I think that one would probably be my favorite of the 6 episodes for Dead City. Now, in terms of Daryl Dixon, I liked every single episode. There's not a single episode that I was just like, about. Like, I liked every single episode. If I had to pick one that was the best, I probably would have to say episode 5, though I do kind of want to say the finale, because obviously the variant walker stuff and all that. But like, I think what I like about episode 5 was sort of the build up to the reveal of the variant walker. That is the most exciting part. And that's the most exciting part really for me in a lot of things. And that's why I talk a lot about like the promotion for like The Ones Who Live, or just the spinoffs in general. A lot of the excitement for these shows is sort of the build up to watching the show. Because once you watch the show, it's exciting. It's already there. But like the build up, the anticipation to getting to that is what is so fun about it. You know, it's fun being a fan, being excited about all of this stuff. And so the Varian Walker stuff was so exciting because they really teased it here and there. And it was like this build up all the way to that reveal at the very end. And then obviously when he fights the Varian Walker in episode 6, it was cool and all that. I'm not saying that was bad, but it's just one of those things where, you know, the reveal is just, it's so much more. So for me, I would have to say episode 5 is probably my favorite. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously I've talked about like which shows I do prefer. So yeah, 2023 was a very interesting year. I'm really looking forward to 2024. I hope it is a much better year. I'm praying it is a much better year. It has to be. Just for me personally, this year has been very, very rough, but The Walking Dead definitely got me through it. And I just hope that this year everything is fine. Right now, it's in a place where it seems like things are probably just going to be fine, but it's just scary that I have no control over the situation. And that's just kind of what is one of those things where I'm just like, I don't really know what to do, or, and so I'm just kind of stuck having to wait. And I've noticed a lot of people say the same exact thing. They've all said that all they did was just like, and I've done things where I'm trying to like limit who can kind of see the videos now, because I'm just like, I want to try like protect all of my content, you know what I mean? So I'm doing a lot of that right now, but other than that, there's not a lot that I can really do. Like there's no information on really anything. And so I've seen a lot of other people, really, it's countless amounts of others, really just say that you just wait it out. That's all it is. You just kind of keep going, try to do what you can do, but there's really nothing you can really do. You're just kind of forced to kind of wait it out. And it's so I'm excited though overall. I definitely am very excited overall. So definitely post all your thoughts down below. Post your best moments of The Walking Dead in 2023. What were your best moments? What were your worst moments overall? And yeah, I mean, I'm still obviously getting used to doing videos like this overall. I've pretty much like I'm comfortable and all that. It's more of like, is this the type of content that I want to put out there in terms of like the look of everything? Again, I just kind of got out of bed literally. I mean, it's been probably like 45 minutes ago, an hour ago now, but a lot of little things like that I have to change, kind of thing, right? Like I probably have to like get ready more for the camera, or like I'll have to sort of build a set behind me and all that now. And so I have to kind of get on that. I'll see what I can do, but I know I've seen a lot of people said this is exactly what they want. Like a lot of people in the last couple of videos have been saying that. So that's very positive to hear, because it's exactly what I wanted. And obviously I'm not going to just keep the camera here like this the entire time. I do like cutting to like to things and all of that. So I'll do that quite a bit. I will keep that there, because obviously I think that just adds a lot more depth to what I'm talking about overall, right? Especially getting into reviews and all that. I'm going to be focusing on that quite a bit. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.